Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
I'm tempted to pick this one called Icons for it's a little cringy, but at the same time kind of cool looking, so it's like, it's right on that edge. I'm like, oh man, I don't know about that one. But I'm sure you'll find something. Anyway, you ready to go ahead and get started on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is the one, the only, Rasco of Rasco's Modern Life. Hello, Rasco.
Hey.
Hey, indeed. We're here today to continue our fan film reviews, and this will be our last fan film review till we go, till we're out of theme month, so, you know, strap in for that one, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Rasco, what are we reviewing tonight?
Tonight, we are reviewing a fan film called Crazy Puddin, Joker and Harley Quinn's Reality.
Indeed, and this one I saw a couple weeks ago, and really, really intensely interesting, and kind of hit me, but I'm very hesitant about it. I've mixed feelings, I'd say. What was your takeaway, Rasco?
Yeah, I kind of agree. This to me kind of feels, to some degree, like a piece that's kind of like a response to this weird meme version of the Joker Harley Quinn relationship that kind of came out of Suicide Squad. And we've talked about before, you know, people kind of see Joker and Harley as bagels. Like, they're like, yeah, that is such a cute romance. I want to be just like Joker and Harley. In fact, I mean, I think DC's doing like a Joker and Harley Quinn DC movie right now, which I can only assume is to cash in on that misunderstanding of the relationship. And I don't want to say misunderstanding, because I'm sure that, like, if you scour all Joker and Harley Quinn of like everything that's out there, there's definitely places where you can find it, the relationship looking a little bit more like that. But I've never, like, I think it's more interesting with the more traditional abusive relationship angle. And this kind of is weird because it goes with the Suicide Squad look for Harley,
but a very comic book Joker.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also, it feels a little bit more like it's kind of trying to explore the more abusive relationship angle, which is kind of counterintuitive considering the design of their Harley Quinn, which I don't know if that's a problem or not. That's one of those things where I'm uncertain about how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the use of the Suicide Squad looking Harley Quinn costume was very much intentional as a jab at that movie and the way in which it presented their relationship.
Okay, so I didn't want to say that because I thought I'd sound goofy, but I was thinking that when I was watching it. I was wondering, like, this to me feels like a direct, like, shot to take an aim and they're firing at Suicide Squad.
I mean, that's how it felt to me, or that's the message I received from it, if not
if it is,
the intention.
I'm cool with that. Go for it. I like it.
Yeah, if not the direct intention, that is definitely a subtextual message I received from it. And honestly, yeah, it's really necessary because the way that Harley and Joker's relationship was displayed in the at least the theatrical cut of that movie was just wrong on so many levels, and really, you know, it offended me as a fan more than anything else. Like, I am a fan of the Joker. I like Harley Quinn. That is not their relationship whatsoever. That is what Harley Quinn wishes their relationship was. I'll give it that. But the lengths in that movie are ridiculous. But we're not really here to discuss Suicide Squad, so I don't want to put the focus on this. No, so, like, yeah, the message that this has about how Joker and Harley is a toxic relationship, he is an abusive partner, and he is disgusting for that reason, that is perfect. That is everything I love about this fan film. It's got fairly good acting from Joker and Harley. I'm really, really impressed with this Joker actor. He is, as evil and menacing, and as much as you hate him watching this, he's having the time of his life. Like, I believe that about the Joker watching this. He is just bouncing off the walls, enjoying himself, and that actor's totally selling it.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job of not coming across too forced, which is a problem that I noticed with a lot of Joker actors in some there's a lot of Jokers and a lot of fan films out there, and sometimes they feel like they're really kind of forced. This guy felt like really kind of animated and really like energy filled, but it never like crossed this weird line into like cringe territory. He kept it like perfectly restrained, but just elevated enough. And I don't know. And the Joker makeup was really good, I thought.
The makeup was fantastic, and those fucking green contact lenses. Oh my god.
That was cool. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Like, that is so my ideal Joker. My favorite image of the Joker comes from Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum with art by Dave McKean. And like the Joker in that, he has like this crazy, like, it's like if Tim Burton like did Elvis's hair. Is the only way I could describe it. It's got like that like Nightmare Before Christmas, like curvy hill kind of look to his hair for a pompadour, but it's green, and it's really cool looking. He's got like long fingernails that are painted green, all this weird stuff. And yeah, just the way, like, it's just very, very capitalizing on that imagery with the bright green eyes and the curved smile, the like really, really lush red lips. Oh, I loved it. The Joker looked fantastic here. I have no doubt in my mind that they could have done an actual Harley Quinn costume, but I feel like it was a very specific choice to use the Suicide Squad costume. But yeah, like, as evil as he is just like deliciously evil in the way he's prancing around, and like, we get that bit at the end where he's got the cup of coffee and the Batman action figure, and he's like, "How do you like scalding hot coffee?"
Yeah.
And like, that's really fun to watch, even though he's like the most evil person in the world. And like, that's what Joker is to me, and that's what makes him such a fascinating character. Is he is a horrible person who does horrible things, but he makes you laugh at them, and that's just inherently fascinating.
Yeah. I also really like just how he like ended that scene where like Batman's about to like possibly beat him up. Who knows? Maybe Joker's just, anticipating a beating, but he's not about to receive one. But I just like how he ended that scene.
I hope he gets the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, like, he just kind of accepts his fate. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, my favorite comic book imagery are the ones where Joker's just beaten to a pulp. There's this great page from this really awful story where Joker's just got a big black eye and he's got a smile on his face. I love it. But anyway, the way that this portrays him, I thought was just dead on. And the way it portrayed Harley, I thought was really, really good too. We talked about this where, like, Harley Quinn has become a role model in some ways, and I really, really resist that almost 99% of the time, Harley Quinn is a woman who gave up her career for a man, and that man doesn't even give a shit about her. And she's become a criminal and does, reasonably awful things because she's being told to. And she's abused, so she's got this victimization to her as well that makes her, like, she's a very interesting character. I just don't feel she's a very good role model, and I don't feel like she's a character that little girls should be looking up to because of that. That being said, this makes a really good case as she is sitting there contemplating killing herself for Harley Quinn being an inspiration after the fact. Like, an inspiration of someone who can walk away from that life. And a life of abuse, an abusive relationship. I don't know, how did you feel about that?
No, yeah, I think that, like, if you want to if you want to take Harley in a more positive direction, like that's the obvious place to go because like that's the next step. Logically, like there's either two things. She can either, just stay with the Joker forever, or eventually, break the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
The thing for me though, and the thing that I think always like really puts the fork in the road is she can, yes, I believe that she can walk away from the Joker and not feel for him anymore. I cannot on any level believe that she would still dress up, that she can do that and still dress up in clown makeup and run around,
Yeah.
I feel like her redemption story has to be getting her life back, not going off and being a super hero.
Super clown girl.
Yeah, that's the thing that always like gets me. I'm like, if you're gonna have her in the clown makeup, that's a really big statement about who she, as this puts it, belongs to.
Yeah.
And that's something that always kind of makes me cringe and really question it. I'm not saying it can't work. I've yet to see it in a way that satisfies me. But yeah, I feel like this does a really, really good job all the way up until Harley's about to kill herself. I have literally no complaints with this up until the moment that she's about to kill herself and throws away the gun. That is like, in my mind, that is the perfect point that this fan film should have ended at. After that, it goes downhill very quickly. I hate to say it, but it really does. When Katana and Batman show up, things deteriorate quickly for me. I don't know, you're laughing, so I think you feel kind of the same way.
Yeah. I want you to say what you have to say first.
Okay. That Batman voice is really, really bad. There's like I usually like to try to be more constructive and stuff, but I can't say anything like if he'd done this differently or if he did this differently. It's just like it's just a bad Batman voice. There's no other way around it. And like, what gets me is a lot of things that have Batman in them, it's being played by an actor in the suit and all that stuff, and you see him, so it's not like it's the best that actor could do. You literally never see Batman's face. It could have been voiced by anybody. And I honestly have to believe that there was someone else who could have done a better Batman voice than that. Like, it is... I think it wouldn't be as big a problem for me. Like, it would be a problem regardless of whatever fan film it was in. It wouldn't be as big a problem for me if it hadn't been at the height of the emotional arc of this fan film. It is at the most, vulnerable moment, the part at which you are empathizing the most with Harley and her journey as a character in this, that he shows up and he has that voice and it just hurts. There's no other way around it. It is a problem. That's what I got.
So your big complaint is just the Batman voice?
I mean, it's also the Hummer instead of the Batmobile, but I can kind of forgive that because they keep it, relatively speaking, in shadow.
Yeah, and, they can't necessarily acquire an actual Batmobile. So.
Yeah, I understand that. How about you? What was... Like, you said you had mixed feelings on this as well. How about you?
Yeah. I didn't really like the exchange between Katana and Harley.
Mm-hmm.
It felt really sappy and, like... It kind of felt like some sort of, like, thing you'd watch in, like, school.
Like a after-school special or something?
Yeah, and I just didn't like it. I wasn't feeling it. I did laugh at the Batman voice, but I didn't know if it was, like, obviously bad or if it was just kind of interesting. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to complain. I'm fine with it. Okay. But hearing you complain about it is awesome. But yeah, Katana had a good costume. I thought the actress who was playing Katana was, she looked the part. And other than that, I didn't really like that whole segment of the fan film, really.
Yeah, I think that I think what happened is they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, right? Like they had. Would you agree with me that if it had ended when Harley threw away the gun, that it would have been like at least a 4 out of 5 fan film?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say 4 out of 5. I would say 3.5, but like because I think I would say 3.5. I would want it to have maybe a little bit of a punchier ending, and I hate saying that, but
That's fair, but like up until that point, it's really really solid.
yeah.
Like I cannot literally think of a complaint up to that point. The fight choreography is a little slow. It's not unbelievable though.
Yeah, it's a little slow. There's not. They maybe needed to like have some sound effects recorded for when certain things happen. When like the hammer hits his chest, there should have been a little bit more of a bigger like thump kind of sound. Things like that.
Yeah, but like not. That's clearly not the focus though, right?
Yeah,
like, it's
but
not like it's
none
a
of
cool
that was
fight
like
scene.
horror. Like it wasn't like around. Like other than that, yeah, like everything was being handled really well.
And then Katana shows up, and it's like I feel like they just did not know how they wanted this to end, but they didn't want it to be like that depressing kind of ending for her. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was really feeling it until Katana and Batman showed up, and then just a lot of things go downhill. A lot of things start to feel really rushed at that point. Like, I feel like Batman shows up, and he's got a bad voice because they didn't want to take the time to go find someone to do a really good Batman voice. They're like, oh, we just need to end this better than how it is ending right now. And, man, that just made it really, really hard to watch that part. I had a real hard time with everything after that. And, I mean, it's not like a lot after that, but, like, the ending matters to a piece. The ending is the last thing you're left with, and so when you walk away from it, you need like to have a strong impression from the end, or a lot of the goodwill you worked up until that point can really, leave you. No Country for Old Men's a pretty good example. A lot of people hate the ending of that movie. And this kind of does the same thing where I'm like, wow, that's a really big letdown at the end. And
A lot of people feel that way about The Sopranos.
yeah.
I disagree.
Fair enough. I don't know. So that was like disappointing. Thing I really liked though is in the credits they do that little message about domestic violence. That hit home for me, and I'm like, I like the subtitle for this: Joker and Harley's reality. This isn't like some fantasy thing. This isn't something where they're lovebirds or whatever. This is an abusive relationship, and it looks that way. This is the reality of an abusive relationship. I really appreciated that. So that one hit home for me. I don't know, man. Like I said, mixed feelings on this one.
Yeah. Do you honestly think that it's better if it just ends with, Harley and the gun and, you don't have any of the Katana Batman stuff? Do you think it's like actually better if you just cut it off there?
I mean, if it ended with her just throwing the gun away, that would have been like maybe too short an ending. Like, I like the symbolically taking the bracelets and the jacket off. I like that part. I just wish she'd come to that realization on her own. Like, she'd had the strength to do that on her own. And I get that, sometimes people don't. Sometimes they need someone there to talk them up, to talk them out of, like, a self-destructive thing. But if you didn't have the means to do that as well as the rest of the stuff, I feel like it would have worked better if it was just silent, dialogueless. She throws down the bracelets, throws off the jacket, and walks out of the alley herself. And I feel like I would have... I mean, if you saw all those things happen, particularly with as much emphasis as was put on the bracelets, would it have gone the same message to you that she's walking away from the Joker now? She's giving up that ownership he has over her?
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, you don't think so?
Oh, well...
You don't think you would have gotten that just on the visuals? The way I'm describing it?
Oh, the way you're describing it, yes. No, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that would have been that would have been emotionally as powerful as everything else we'd seen in the film up to that point, and it wouldn't have undermined anything.
No, yeah, I agree. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was confused.
And yeah, at that point, maybe I'm rewriting the thing too much or something like that, and you never want to do that.
You should go make your own fanfic of this fan film, dude.
Yeah. I don't know, it's one of those things, and like, I don't know, I don't hate everything about it after that. It's like, it's just that the Katana and Batman entrance is really forced. Like, yeah, there's everything I don't like about the Batman voice. There's the Katana dialogue, like you said, feels really kind of cheesy a little bit.
A little sappy.
Yeah, it doesn't quite fit the same tone. I don't know, it just kind of falls apart for me, and when you're doing so much right before that, it really undercuts a lot of it. What'd you think of the score for this? Because they got an original score.
I didn't pay too much attention to it. It did sound like maybe something they had made specifically for this, so that's notable. There was one part about it that kind of felt a little weird and cheesy, but I can't remember what it was, so maybe I'm just saying random things at this point. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it. It didn't really stand out to me.
I thought it. This is the second time I watched it. I thought it. It was appropriately emotional. I thought it got the right emotions, hit the right notes, literally, for the visuals we were seeing. Particularly when she's sitting there thinking about all the things he's said to her, and deciding whether or not to kill herself. I thought that was really good. You're more the one to talk about this stuff, so how did you feel about the way this was shot?
Oh, well, I didn't really have any problems with how it was shot, really. I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that you can do when you're just shooting more conversation-type scenes, but I mean, for the most part, it's definitely, it's well shot. It's competently shot. But the main thing is just that there were like a few times where the editing was a little weird for me. One of those times was when the Joker was on the ground laughing after Harley leaves.
Oh yeah, and it kind of like pans up as she's leaving the room, and it's just kind of like an awkward, like she's got her hands full, and so it's kind of awkward for her to open and close the door, and then it pans back down to him laughing, and then he's just kind of there on the floor for a while. And
there's this like weird cut where it just kind of like cuts, and it's not really like they cut like a different angle or anything. It's just like the same kind of shot of the Joker just laying there, and they're like still shooting it from the same angle, and it's always weird when you do a cut like that where you don't really cut to a new angle, you just kind of cut to the same angle, and there's just like a loss of time. It's like, wait, what just happened? Like we didn't cut to something else. We just kind of lost a second there for some reason. Things like that. But I mean, this is all really like nitpicky stuff because I think that it's generally speaking like what it's going for. It like really accomplishes, and it feels very solid. So like this is all really like nitpicky stuff.
I mean, that's fine. I thought it looked really good. I thought it was really, really well lit for something, just shot in a garage and like an alleyway. I thought it was pretty well lit. The use of color I thought was really good. Again, Joker's eyes and hair just really pop against Harley's, teal and red makeup and stuff like that. I thought that looked really, really solid.
It was very clean. All the images were very clean. There wasn't like any graininess really. I don't know. It definitely looked like pretty polished at least, and that's a good thing. It didn't feel really rough and like patchwork together like a lot of fan films do when they're, I don't know.
No, I agree. It's not like the Doctor Who fan film we talked about a couple months back where it's like really obviously kind of crummy shot on a phone kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I liked quite a bit about it. I thought this was pretty solid overall, but with a really weak ending that kind of left me just wishing it was a bit better by the end.
Yeah, but I think that at least from like from a conceptual level, like this is like a really good example of what I think a lot more fan films should try to do, where instead of just like trying to create a scene, it kind of like wants to explore like an idea and kind of use that idea to be like the story of the piece. And it's actually like about something, and it's not just an attempt to get together and film a bunch of characters doing things. It's like they had a specific angle, and that's a good thing, because we've reviewed a lot of fan films that are kind of at this tier, but they really just feel like a bunch of people really want an excuse to film a fan film. And
yeah, like
sometimes
this definitely
they wind
has
up
a
good.
story.
Sometimes they don't. But this one definitely is at least it from like the initial idea point, it works. I like that.
Yeah, this definitely has a story that it's telling. It's not just a scene that happens. I definitely agree with you there. I'm trying to think of more stuff that does that, where it's like not really. Like, what's a fan film we reviewed that's just like a scene?
Okay, there was that one Spider-Man fan film that one time where it was kind of like him in the alleyway.
Oh yeah, Marvel Knights Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, that was just kind of a scene. I know there's other ones. I don't want to throw one out that I'm just not remembering very well. I'll be like, well, this one did it.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I was just trying to come up with an example to reference what we were talking about more specifically. So yeah, no, like this definitely has a story to tell, and you know it does it reasonably effectively. I just think the ending's kind of forced. Otherwise, I don't know what else we can really talk about for this one. Nothing's coming to mind for me, so why don't we go ahead and go on to ratings. Rasco, what would you rate this?
Okay, for me, this is definitely a 3.5 out of 5 big Harley Quinn hammers to the chest.
Okay. I gotta go a little lower than that. I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 Batman's dunked in coffee. It's definitely better than, like, 2.5 is solid average. This is definitely better than that, but I really feel that it undoes a lot of the work that it was doing by the end. Okay, Rasco, what are we talking about next week?
Okay,
As we
I'm
enter
really
horror month.
Yes, I'm really excited for what I found. Okay, we're gonna talk about The Shining fan film inspired by Stanley Kubrick.
Oh my word.
And I think that this was made by someone who might have been doing this as like a school project, maybe they go to like film school or something. It could be promising.
Okay. That seems like something a young film student would do. Try to do a Kubrick, right? Okay. I'm excited. Sounds like fun. Alright, everyone. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the beta male cock.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.